I'm going to be replacing this return grill because the door is no longer on hinges. So I have a new one. This will be brand new. And this is the old air handler. As you can see from the side there, they have like some insulation there. I'm assuming that they put that there because the wood doesn't extend all the way over there. But I came prepared for that. I'll show you later when I remove this and right before I put the new one. The old unit out. This is what I was talking about. See, obviously it was there to close the gap, but I came prepared. I'll show you in a minute. So as you can see, I came with a new piece of board. It's even from mica. It's good, expensive board. I get it from my friend's cabinet shop. So it's from mica, so even if water falls, it doesn't penetrate through the wood to rot the wood. So in a sense, it's like moisture protected. Okay. This part here was all sagging, so I reinforced it. Now it's really good. Now this is the time to check for level. I checked the level on everything. It's perfectly level that way. Perfectly level that way. And both ways this way. So now I know I'm perfectly level. I won't have any drainage problems because of the base. I'm going to check another level before I screw it down or cut the hole. I'll show you now. Alright, I'm checking the level now. It's like before I cut it, that way it's easier to level it. Alright, so everything is leveled perfect. And this is the time to double check for where you're going to drill the holes going down. The new holes. And adjust that hole there. So I'm going to clean that out. And clean that out so that the drain line goes in easy. And my refrigeration line's going there. And the way I got this measurement was I made 2 marks from where it was flush down there and 2 marks here. And I put the unit on top. And I marked the inside of the unit. I'll show you when I put the unit what I mean so that you understand. You can see we adjust any imperfections. My holes are perfect now. Up there I had a little gap. I put a filler right here. I'll just cut it off there with the hole, with the Sawzall. And get rid of that corner right there with the Sawzall. And we should be ready to put the unit on. Alright, everything's good. I checked for level again. Obviously this is the time to do it before I put the unit up. My corners are clean. So I'm ready for the unit. Okay, this is the time that I measured. I measured right from the base to center of my electrical. Because this is the time to get the knockout out. This one got lucky. It matched centered. So I didn't have to drill a new one, but this is the time to do it while you can do it easy and measure easy. So that you understand what I was talking about before I even put the board up. I had everything out of the unit so it's easy to work with. And I put the unit on top of the board and I marked the inside of the unit. See how it's perfect? And that's how you get a perfect cut and a perfect fit. And there's my lines to the left, which I'll show you later. I want them to the left because if I ever need to clean the coil, I can pull it out. The drain line, I can just pull it down if the coil ever needs to be cleaned. Well, and here's a little trick. Even though I cut the hole and measured it with the unit perfectly, it can go off a little bit. So before I secure the unit, I put 1 screw on one side. I measure from the back of the wall to this side, which is already secured. And before I put that screw in, I do the same thing. I measure here, and then I put the screw. Then I know I'm square and the unit is square. Then you can go ahead and put the other 2 screws, 1 in each side in the back, and your unit won't move anymore. Okay, before I put the coil and the fan and the heater in, I like to do my plenum first. Most people don't like to do that because it's like the worst part of the job, messing around with fiberglass. But I like to do it before then because then I can seal it from the inside. Sometimes if you have the heater in there and the blower in there, or the coil first for whatever reason, and you drop some of this nasty stuff on it, then you got to go outside, take it apart, and hose it down, clean it up, put it back in. This way, if you drop something, it's just going to go straight down. no problem, no issues. So you'll be good. Okay, as you can see, my plenum is in. The only place, two places actually, that you can't get mastic is here from the inside and there from the inside. So here it doesn't matter because it's new material to the new unit. The tape will stay there forever. The bond is permanent. So the only place I can't put tape is from new to old because this won't catch. It's just like chalky. So it'll just keep pulling off. So you just put a strip of mastic and that's how you seal. So now everything is sealed. See, everything is sealed. Okay, once I get to this point, I'm a happy camper because there's no more measuring, no more thinking, no more double measuring, no more checking if everything's going to fit before you actually put it in. Now it's assembly. So, won't be long now. Alright, I have the coil in and the blower in. A lot of people like to put the coil in first and run the line and weld it and braze it, and they don't think about service. See, like they'll run this line instead of, see how I have the loop, they'll go like, why did he loop it like that? That there's a purpose. If I ran it across here, it would be fine, but if I ever needed to take the coil out, I would have to straighten that line out, and I can kink it there and create problem, or I can kink it bending it back to resolder. So this way it's easy. This way, see, it's almost right above. So if I ever have to do the line, I just move it. It's all it has to do is just barely move up a little bit and the coil comes out. But you also have to keep it below the blower. See that? Below the blower, so that if you have to pull the blower out, you have no issues. Some people also, when they run them from the top, they run it right across the blower into here instead of coming down and over a little bit. And then what happens is you have to do a pump down, cut the line just to get the blower out. So remember that, guys, when you're on the field. Make sure you have clearance for everything. Think of service when you're installing. Don't just put together, because it might be you having to come back to service the unit. And then you'll be like, oh man, why did I do that? I mean by leave everything ready for service. I measured it and I knew that I can put this back in with no problem and take it out with no problem. If I wouldn't have had enough room, I would have just made a 90 and gone down here. That way I could have swung it in, but I didn't have to do that. And I couldn't go any further this way because the 2x4 was there. But as you can see, I set it up for service. All my measurements came out perfect. Okay, everything's in, everything's wired. I had to run a new thermostat line because the old one only had 4 wires. We need 5 to make sure the thermostat doesn't use batteries. And see why you have to measure? See, it reached perfectly. If it wouldn't have reached, then I would have had to drill a hole here and then a hole here and ran wire. But it's better to do it while a unit was out. And I forgot to say, we see the drain, how it's in front of the filter cover. It doesn't matter because this has a return grill, which we're going to replace later, and that's where you change the filter. So that's why it didn't matter if I blocked the filter cover. Alright, all we got to do is close it up and get ready to run. Alright, here's another tip with the Armaflex, so that you don't have to fight the corner and start from the corner or start from here and then fight the corner to close it. Put a little tape, and it's easier to nicely put the tape all around, because you could put, I can't do it, can't show you because I'm holding the phone, but then you just go down and then you can turn it. I'm going to need 2 hands and then I'll show you what it looks like. So you can get it right and good and flush, and it won't open up on you. Nice and flush. Oops, sorry. There you go. Alright, and then it's easier to put a straight piece. Just measure it and cut it. You don't have to worry about the 90. That's the air handler unit. It's condensing beautifully. Look at all that water springing out from the inside of the house. There's the condenser. got rubber pads underneath and tied down on all corners. That's what the truck looks like after the job is done. And I forgot to show you because I was tired. You saw the same way that I take the new unit inside apart. Same thing I do with the old unit to take it out. So that way I could do it by myself. And then the condenser, the old condenser, I take it apart. There's the coil. I fold it up. I just turn it into pieces so that I can load it up into the truck by myself. And there goes another job done.